I get it, you're staring at a dozen home gym ads, and the thought of dropping cash on something that ends up as a pricey coat rack is nagging you. You want to know if this particular set will actually fit into your daily routine, give you a real workout, and not take up half the living room for a year before you decide it's not for you. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's walk through the Speediance VeloNix exercise bike paired with the Gym Monster 2 Works Plus set and see if the hype lines up with the day-to-day reality. First off, the biggest promise this bundle makes is the all-in-one experience. You get a stationary bike for cardio and a compact strength training rack that slides onto the same base. In theory, that means you can hop on for a quick spin, then slide the resistance bars into place and do a set of curls without shuffling gear around. For anyone who lives in a small apartment or has a home office that doubles as a workout zone, that integration is the main selling point. It also means you're not buying two completely separate pieces and hoping they'll somehow play nice together later on. Setting it up is the first practical test. The package arrives in a fairly standard flat-pack style bike frame, seat, handlebars, pedal assembly, plus the Gym Monster steel uprights, weight pegs, and a few connection brackets. The instructions are written clearly, but you still need a screwdriver, a bit of elbow grease, and about an hour to get everything tightened and level. The biggest hidden trade-off here is floor space. Even though the bike and strength rack share a platform, you'll need roughly a 4 by 6 foot footprint to swing the bike's rear wheel out of the way when you transition to the weight side. If you're used to squeezing a treadmill into a closet, you'll notice this up front. Once it's assembled, the day-to-day usability is where the bundle either shines or stalls. The VeloNix bike itself feels like a mid-range spin bike, adjustable seat height, a handlebar that tilts forward and back, and a magnetic resistance dial that clicks into place. The resistance range is decent for a home setup. You can dial it down for a warm-up jog or crank it up for an intense interval sprint. The real advantage shows when you finish a cardio session and want to stay on the same platform for strength work. The bike's rear wheel can be rolled out of the way and the resistance bars click onto the same base, so you don't have to roll a separate rack across the room. That transition takes less than a minute, which is a genuine time saver for people who are juggling work calls and family duties. Now, let's talk about the strength side. The Gym Monster 2 Works Plus includes a pair of adjustable dumbbell pegs, a pull-up bar, and a set of resistance bands that can be hooked onto the uprights. In practice, you can do a full-body circuit 10 minutes on the bike, a set of banded rows, a few pull-ups, then back to the bike for a sprint. Because the resistance bands are built into the frame, you don't have to keep a separate bag of loops on the floor. The downside is that the weight capacity on the pegs isn't spelled out in the marketing, and the bands themselves are moderate strength. If you're a seasoned lifter who regularly loads 30-pound plates, you'll quickly feel limited. The system is really geared toward beginners to intermediate users who want a balanced routine rather than heavy powerlifting. One of the practical strengths that many home gym bundles overlook is stability during high-intensity cardio. Because the bike sits on a solid steel base that also supports the weight rack, there's minimal wobble even when you're standing up for a hill climb. That stability translates into a safer experience, especially if you have kids running around and you don't want the bike to tip. On the flip side, the combined weight of the bike and rack makes the whole unit fairly heavy to move once it's set up. If you ever need to clear the space for a party or a cleaning session, you'll need at least 2 people to shift it, which isn't a deal breaker but worth knowing before you buy. Who should consider this bundle? If you're someone who likes to keep workouts varied, mixing cardio intervals with strength circuits without having to purchase separate machines, this is a solid compromise. It works especially well for remote workers who want to break up long sitting periods with quick bursts of movement. It also appeals to those who have limited floor space but are willing to allocate a dedicated workout corner. The price point, while not cheap, is lower than buying a mid-range spin bike plus a standalone power rack, so the value proposition holds up if you actually use both components regularly. Who might want to skip it? If you're an athlete who trains for endurance cycling or powerlifting, the resistance range on the bike and the limited loading options on the strength side